Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're joining me today because we're looking at something that is just deeply relatable, yet somehow it rarely gets talked about. Today, we're pulling back the curtain to reveal the absolute unsung heroes of our modern working world. You know, the people who quietly and effectively turn ideas into reality, day in and day out. We're going to explore the hidden rhythm of the everyday project manager. So, if you've ever felt like your hard work goes totally unnoticed, mainly because you spend your time putting out fires before anyone even smells the smoke, well, this explainer is absolutely for you. Okay, let's dive into this by shattering a really common illusion. When most people hear the title project manager, their minds instantly jump to a very specific, honestly very loud corporate stereotype. They picture multi-million-dollar programs, literal armies of staff, and these intense presentations in glass-walled executive boardrooms. But contrast that with the reality for the vast majority of project managers. The day-to-day looks entirely different. We're talking about managing projects with budgets of maybe a few $100,000s a year. They're leading tight-knit teams of, say, fewer than 10 people. Their work is quiet, it's behind the scenes, and honestly, their projects might never make headline news. Yet, their impact is massive, and it's felt directly by communities, customers, and beneficiaries. So, to truly understand this hidden reality, we've structured this explainer around a typical week in the life. We'll walk through Monday's planning and assessing, Tuesday's focus on people, Wednesday's problem solving, Thursday's leadership through service, and finally Friday's telling the story. It's a pretty fascinating rhythm, so let's just get right into it. All right, let's kick our week off with Monday planning and assessing. Before the absolute whirlwind of the week takes over, every single Monday for an everyday project manager begins by creating a sense of order out of the chaos. And it all starts with one deceptively simple question. Where do we really stand? Now, this requires a methodical, calm approach. Before the team dives headfirst into another week of implementation, the PM has to review the progress from last week, check those budgets, and follow up on pending activities. But most importantly, they're actively looking for the tiny, quiet signs of trouble. The whole goal here is to spot those red flags early and just neutralize them long before they ever have the chance to become a full-blown crisis. Now, what's really interesting about the Everyday Project Manager's toolkit is actually what's missing. In their reality, there are no massive project management offices generating fancy automated reports. There are no dedicated risk analysts crunching the numbers for them, and there is definitely no resource management department to tap into. Because of that, the Everyday Project Manager has to wear all these different hats, all at the same time. They are the planner, the coordinator, the communicator, the problem solver, and the accountability partner. It's like they're a one-person orchestra just trying to keep the entire project in perfect tune. Moving right along, we step away from the spreadsheets and into Tuesday, focusing on people. By Tuesday, the nice, rigid plans from Monday crash right into the complex reality of human interaction. The focus shifts entirely from tasks to people. Just consider the typical curveballs. Maybe a critical government officer hasn't signed an approval yet, or perhaps a key supplier has suddenly delayed a delivery. A partner organization might be totally confused and need clarification, or a team member is just struggling and needs a bit of extra support. The project manager spends the bulk of this day navigating these highly nuanced conversations, managing shifting expectations, and making sure everyone remains aligned and moving in the exact same direction. And this brilliantly illustrates a core truth about the profession, captured perfectly in this quote. Successful projects are rarely delivered through plans alone. They are delivered through relationships. I mean, think about it. You can have the most beautiful, color-coded Gantt chart in the world, a literal work of spreadsheet art. But if you cannot connect with the actual people doing the work, the project just stalls. Connection, empathy, and communication, those are the true engines driving any project forward. Okay, buckle up, because now we hit Wednesday, solving the problems. By Wednesday, reality doesn't just arrive. It usually kicks the door down. Just think about this rapid-fire stacking of midweek problems. In the morning, boom, a budget line suddenly needs an urgent adjustment. By midday, a key stakeholder completely changes their priorities on a whim. And just when you think you've handled all that, the afternoon brings a field-level challenge that completely throws off the entire implementation schedule. It is a storm of chaos, where absolutely everything suddenly appears urgent, flashing red, and completely out of your control. And you know, this is the exact moment where experience truly matters. Here is the secret. The everyday project manager's true value isn't that they magically have all the answers to these sudden Wednesday problems. Their true value is remaining the calm anchor in a storm of anxiety. They know how to triage and prioritize when everything is chaotic. They inherently understand that rushing to solve today's problem is really only half the job.
Actually, they must do it in a way that actively prevents tomorrow's problem from popping up. It's honestly a masterclass in emotional regulation and strategic foresight.
Take a breath, because that brings us to a day often overlooked in corporate literature. Thursday, leadership through service. I want us to take a quick second to really absorb this redefinition of leadership. In small, everyday projects, leadership is very rarely about having formal authority over people. It's definitely not about barking orders. It is deeply rooted in service. There's days when this leadership becomes highly visible. It's all about checking in on team well-being, stepping in to resolve those simmering little misunderstandings, offering encouragement to someone who feels completely overwhelmed, and physically removing the obstacles that are slowing down progress. In these environments, people aren't just interchangeable resources on a spreadsheet. Their motivation and their commitment physically are the project. If they fail, the project fails. So serving them, that's the absolute highest form of leadership.
Finally, the week begins to wind down, and we arrive at Friday, telling the story. By Friday, the project manager completely shifts gears. They transition from putting out fires to becoming a storyteller. They have to distill the absolute chaos of the past 4 days into a clear, cohesive narrative. And they do this by answering 4 essential questions. What was achieved? What challenges emerged? What lessons were learned? And what needs our attention next week? Now, sure, these reports might be much shorter than some 100-page corporate dossier that nobody actually reads anyway, but the weight of the responsibility is exactly the same. Stakeholders still want answers, donors expect results, and the organization needs confidence. And frankly, while everyone else is mentally logging off for the weekend, the project manager is already actively structuring next week's priorities in their head based on these exact 4 questions.
So the absolutely crucial takeaway here is this. What makes this role so unique and so incredibly vital isn't the size of the budget or the number of people on the team. It's about the constant responsibility of creating order within total uncertainty. It's the tightrope walk of balancing very limited resources with incredibly ambitious expectations. And it's the profound ability to lead, to keep people moving forward through a barrage of challenges, all without always having formal authority. That right there is the unique core of the everyday project manager. Which brings us to our final and perhaps most powerful thought of this explainer. The best project managers are often the ones nobody notices, because when they do their job well, everything simply works. It's a profound paradox, isn't it? Their ultimate success is their own invisibility. So I'm going to leave you with this question. Think about the projects, the community events, or the organizational shifts in your own life that just seem to effortlessly work. Who is the unseen person quietly maintaining that rhythm? Take a moment to recognize them. Or hey, if that person is you, recognize the immense value of your own quiet impact. Thank you so much for exploring this hidden world with me today, and I absolutely cannot wait to dive into our next topic with you soon.